As the days grew shorter and the nights colder, Harrowed Woods began to transform. The once lush canopy of leaves turned into a fiery display of reds and oranges, heralding the approach of Halloween. The town, nestled on the edge of these ancient woods, was steeped in the legend of a vengeful spirit who watched over the land, a legend with origins lost to time, but thought to have originated with the Native American tribes who once lived there. It was said the spirit was a part of the forest itself, but could take on any shape or form it pleased. The tale of the guardian spirit had been passed down through countless generations, telling of a sentinel of the forest, whose watchful eyes and silent whispers had kept the woods untouched for centuries. But as autumn descended upon Harrowed Woods, the tranquility that had reigned for centuries was shattered. Harrison Caldwell, a man who'd made a name for himself through ruthless ambition and a relentless pursuit of profit, saw an opportunity in the pristine woods. He conspired in the shadows, exploiting the town's vulnerabilities with bribes and deceit. His goal was simple: to obtain a permit allowing his logging company to harvest the towering trees that had stood for generations. The townsfolk, aware of the legend and the curse it foretold, pleaded with Caldwell to reconsider, but he scoffed at their superstitions. One fateful day, the permit was granted, inked with the signatures of corrupt officials, and the logging company descended upon the woods like a swarm of locusts. They arrived with their monstrous machines, cutting into the ancient trees with deafening roars. Vines snaked around their legs, an eerie warning from the forest itself, but the workers paid no heed. As the logging continued, strange occurrences began to plague the crew. Tools vanished without a trace, and eerie whispers danced on the wind. Shadows moved in the corner of their eyes, and unease gnawed at their hearts. But it was only when the vines, once innocuous, began to tighten their grip that the workers realized the extent of their transgressions. One by one, they were ensnared, their cries swallowed by the relentless woods. The forest, angered by the intrusion, exacted a terrible price. The twisted, gnarled branches above seemed to stretch and elongate, merging with the entangled loggers, transforming them into grotesque, contorted trees. Silent screams etched into the tortured bark, their agony eternally preserved. Tormented souls trapped within their wooden prisons, forever cursed to be a part of the very forest they had sought to fell. Word of the disappearances spread quickly through the small town, and fear took hold. The townsfolk now believed in the forest spirit's vengeance, and murmurs began of forcing the loggers out of town. Frustrated by the slow pace of work and reports of loggers not coming in, Caldwell decided to visit the site himself. He had hoped to find his loggers and regain control of the situation, unaware of the dire consequences he had set in motion. As he ventured deeper into the forest, the very air seemed to grow heavy with an ominous presence. The wind whispered strange incantations through the trees, and eerie shadows danced at the periphery of his vision. He came to a clearing ringed by trees gnarled into what looked like anguished and tormented human forms. Kneeling down in the clearing was a young woman with auburn hair. She was holding several autumn leaves in her hand. "The leaves," she said without looking up. "They're like tears, don't you think?" Caldwell strutted forward. "Who the hell are you?" "The name is Sarah. said the girl with a smile. You know, you really shouldn't be here. These trees aren't for cutting. I don't think that's any of your business, scoffed Caldwell. These trees are now my property. Why don't you run on home? Sarah stood up. But I am home. A branch snapped nearby, and Caldwell turned but saw nothing. What was that? When he looked back to the clearing, there was no sign of Sarah. The forest seemed to close in around him, and as he desperately tried to flee, the spirit's wrath descended upon him, sealing his fate among the wretched trees, and his anguished cries joined the mournful chorus of the woods. Weeks passed, and the permit was revoked. The company left Harrowed Woods, and the whole incident became a part of the myth of the guardian spirit. One crisp autumn morning, a park employee entered the woods. Armed with a rake, she hummed a tune as she began to clear the fallen leaves that covered the ground like a vibrant carpet of crimson and gold. Halloween decorations were going up, and there was a festive feeling in the air. As she worked, an elderly man walking by noticed her pocket a few of the leaves. "Miss, could you tell me a good place for a picnic? I want to take the grandkids for Halloween." "Sure," she said. "Just go straight ahead until you see a clearing. Great place for a picnic." "Thanks a lot," he said with a wave. "Miss..." "Sarah," she said with a smile. "You can call me Sarah." He looked down at the golden leaves in her hand. "Are you a leaf collector?" Sarah laughed. "Yes," she replied with a smile, her eyes gleaming in the autumn light. "I am. You should give it a try." The man knelt down and picked up a few of the leaves, admiring the autumn colors. "I think I will," he said. The leaves continued to fall from the canopy, drifting to the forest floor as if tears shed by the petrified loggers. The wind whispered through the branches, carrying a muffled echo of their cries of despair, a chilling reminder of the curse that bound them to the woods for all eternity. Thanks for listening. See you next time. If you enjoy our videos, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe.